If you find yourself constantly overwhelmed by emotions after a breakup, unable to move on, it's likely because you're experiencing trauma flashbacks. If, after the breakup, you're often alone, your emotions fluctuating unpredictably, feeling like you've let go one moment only to fall apart the next, you're likely caught in this cycle. During the day, you might put on a brave face and carry on with life. But at night, your heart feels heavy and you're overwhelmed by sudden bursts of anger, sadness, and tears. One moment you think you figured things out, and the next you're lost again. Seeing others happy makes you want to cry because you feel like you deserve happiness too. This is what it means to be trapped in an emotional backlash. People experiencing emotional backlash often struggle to control their emotions. They find it hard to focus on anything. Their ability to express themselves diminishes, and they tend to become withdrawn. They may also have frequent dreams, waking up startled. These symptoms are part of a traumatic stress disorder, also known as trauma flashbacks. So why do we fall into these trauma flashbacks? From a psychological perspective, there are two main reasons. You're trying to change the outcome of the relationship. In your subconscious, you're still hoping to repair the relationship, but you don't know how. As a result, you keep exerting effort in your imagination, hoping the other person will feel remorse, reflect on their actions, or even come back to you. However, these hopes are built on false illusions. The more you dwell on the pain and the breakup, the more you harm your true self. When you face reality and realize these hopes are unfounded, and that the other person isn't remorseful and might even be doing well, you're plunged into immense unease and pain. You become obsessed with proving your worth and seeking validation, which stems from a fragile sense of self. People who constantly seek external validation often lack inner cohesion and believe that only others' approval can nourish their spirit. This is why, after a breakup, you feel powerless, your self-worth shattered, and, in severe cases, you might become avoidant and isolate yourself. 2. You're desperate for answers. You want to know why they broke up with you, why they treated you the way they did. When you can't find these answers, you're consumed by anger. You might become highly reactive, easily lashing out at others or turning to self-blame, constantly criticizing yourself and feeling inadequate. This self-attack weakens your sense of self. Many people after a breakup either become numb and disoriented or are overwhelmed by intense anger and sadness. But whether it's anger or sadness, it all stems from feeling small, helpless, and forgotten. Even if you knew the answers, what would it change? Dwelling on the past only leads to a victim mentality where you're stuck reliving the pain and unable to grow. We must understand that we can't go back and change the past. If you find yourself trapped in post-breakup trauma flashbacks, the first step is to recognize that you're experiencing them. Trauma flashbacks make you relive the pain and helplessness of the breakup. But you need to remind yourself that these feelings are just memories from the past. They can't hurt you anymore. You're safe now. Secondly, comfort your inner child. When you experience trauma flashbacks, it's your inner child crying out for attention and help. Your inner child is a part of you, still wounded and stuck in the past. As the book It's Not Your Fault wisely says, the trauma isn't your fault, but healing is your responsibility. Trauma flashbacks are your inner child's way of signaling for help. They're not trying to make you miserable. In these moments, you should care for this wounded inner child instead of blaming yourself for not being able to shake off the past. When you realize you're experiencing a trauma flashback, find a safe space to relax. For example, wrap yourself in a blanket, hug a pillow, take a bath, or rest for a while. Allow yourself to feel the fear and sadness, but don't react to them. Emotions are just energy in your body. If you don't run from them, they can't harm you. This way, you can gradually adjust your emotions and move past the emotional backlash caused by the breakup.